Hello, everybody. Welcome to Political Football. My name is Dave. I'm here with Scott. I think
Why?
we're getting Cleve this week. Last week I forgot he was in Panama. So I was surprised when he wasn't here, but he did in fact tell me he wasn't going to be here. Speak
Always
of the
better when
devil,
we have Cleve.
here he
There
is.
he
What's
is.
What's up?
up? Cleve, I was just telling them I completely forgot you were out of the country last week.
Yeah.
And so I had you in the show description and I introduced you and I was like, yeah, I'm sure he'll be here any minute.
Yeah, I was listening back to it. I was like, did he forget that I wasn't here?
I
100%
I
saw a little
did.
bit of the games.
Yeah. Well, I figured because you got home late or back to the States late on Sunday, right?
Yeah. But I was able to see on the flight, the Finns. I saw the Finns game and then I saw something else. But yeah, I got home. Well, I went to my mom's and then I drove down Monday morning. So I was completely. I had to leave 2:00 to the airport, and I didn't know that the airport was 2.5 hours from the resort.
Oh, are you going to say where you went?
Oh yeah. Panama.
Okay.
I went to. Oh yeah. I went to Panama. It wasn't Jerusalem or some shit like that.
Yeah. No.
You fuckers laughed.
Also, yeah. Well. So just real quick, since this political football, people might think that we're going to talk about that. Let me just say we are not going to talk about that. Not until it directly involves the United States, as none of us are Jewish, I'm pretty sure. Cleve, obviously, me, obviously,
Yeah.
Scott, assuming. None of us are Palestinian, none of us are Muslim. So it's horrific all the way around. It's awful. It's a horrible humanitarian crisis all the way around. So many people are trying to fire off takes and score political points that will not be happening on this show about this topic. Next time Kevin McCarthy wants to get fired while we're doing the show, that's great. But this horrible tragedy we will not be talking about unless it somehow pulls in directly the government of the United States.
Yep.
We can say, however, that we are
we do
attention, and we can
we're paying
empathize
attention and
yes, of course.
Yeah, both sides are. This is since the Bible days, it's fucked up.
Yeah. Anytime that you see innocent people caught in the middle of stuff like this is horrible. So, yes. So there is no good segue here, but we are going to get into it because we only got Scott for a little bit tonight. Going back to last Thursday when Cleve was on a beach somewhere, but we got to watch the Bears beat the Commanders 40-20. Justin Fields in this game, 15 of 29, 282 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, 11 carries for 57 yards. But Cleve, here's the kicker. Remember how we said that the Bears were struggling because they weren't using DJ Moore?
Yeah.
8 catches, 230 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Kind of what's there.
It's amazing.
It's like having you're starving and then you open the cabinet and there's a ton of food in it. You're like, oh, okay. We didn't look in the cabinets. Idiots.
Yeah, I mean, we have been saying for weeks, Scott, about how the coaching for the Bears has been horrible. They haven't been using everybody correctly. I would say in this game, we finally saw the Bears coach a good game, and they beat up on a probably slightly better but still bad opponent.
Yeah, I like the idea of letting Justin Fields run a little bit. 11 carries is probably, in a big picture, too much, but it's okay for now because we've seen enough of him at Ohio State where he didn't really run a lot, but he wasn't pressured much.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see him in the NFL where when he gets into a rhythm and he gets there running the ball and kind of it's strange. It's almost like it's run first and then he'll put the dagger in with just a ridiculous throw kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when you don't give him the run option, I think it sort of limits what he is as a player. And I love it. I just said it. I'm a hypocrite. I just said 11 carries is too much, but it's not enough right now. Give him as many as it takes to get him in rhythm and tempo and let him stay there.
Well, the Bears killed the Commanders in this game. If this game had been close, who knows? Maybe he would have had, 16 or 17. But the Commanders are also bad. they got killed by Buffalo, took Philly to overtime. They got killed by Chicago. I think taking Philly to overtime was the outlier.
Yeah, and it's interesting watching them. Sam Howell might be a dude. Like there are moments. I know he has issues. Like his pocket presence is not #bad. He's going to take a lot of sacks that he is going to create himself. He's super athletic. He's difficult to get to the ground. But there are moments in games where it's like, wow, that's a big boy throw. Well, that's in the face of pressure. That is a great throw. Obviously, he's a young player, and it's way too soon to be talking about how he's a dude. But he has big boy moments. He
definitely has flashes. My thing with him, and this is most quarterbacks, when a new OC comes in, he's still learning the enemy's like game planning and stuff like that. It's new to him, so you kind of got to give the guy a little bit of something because it's a new system for him, and who knows how complex or how simple they got to make it for him. But I'm giving him a pass for right now. But the team as a whole, I agree with Dave. It's just like it's whatever. But and I agree with you saying that he has flashes that he can be great.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, what's up with that defensive line? They were supposed to be a dominant team.
Man. Yep.
It's weird.
I'm telling you, defense year to year is so not sticky in the NFL. Yeah. Like the Jets might just be bad at defense next year. Like, I mean, it just offense, you could like the Chiefs are going to be good. The Bills are going to be good. Like you can kind of tell year to year. Defense, you can be the best and then like the 12th best the next year. But if you're average on defense, you're going to have like 3 games where you give up 40 points.
Yeah.
Yep.
London game, Jaguars 25 at the Bills 20. I watched the end because these are 2 teams that matter. But the London game is always sloppy. The Bills were lethargic and sloppy. The Jags definitely had an advantage from having stayed over there the entire week. Roger Goodell said that after the game that the Bills were a guinea pig to see if they could be competitive against the team that was based in London, or to see if it'd be too much of a home field advantage sending a team over there. So one, trying to draw a conclusion off a sample size of 1 is very Roger Goodell, but also, of course, it's a giant home field advantage.
Yeah,
I mean, he said that out loud.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, then send both teams out there a week ahead. Just do that, like, because that's a massive advantage.
Obviously. Well, no, he's talking. I think they're looking at having the team be in London permanently, and if it's too much of a home field for that team to be there.
But we already know that it will. Like, come on.
There's no point to do that. Like that's stupid.
Right. Like, yeah, Paul with a good point. He said, imagine being the Bills owner and having the commission say that. Yeah, so I think that it is obviously a huge disadvantage. I'm not against that, though, if they wanted to do that. If they wanted to have a team in London, I'm not against it. I think they would have to be in an Eastern division against teams based in the Northeast. Like you'd have to be like Patriots, Philly, Giants going over there and move the Cowboys to the South, right? Because you'd have to have the teams in the Northeast making that trip every year.
Can we put the Cowboys on the moon? Just goodbye.
Well, we can put them in the center of the earth like the 49ers did. But I think
you are quick and witty, fella.
I should have a podcast.
You should. I might subscribe.
That is I mean, we see teams still talk about the 3-hour time zone just crossing over from LA to New York and how problematic that could possibly be. Imagine when you have it planned, but when it's like a storm or something and the game got moved and all that. I mean, they're really trying to expand this thing, huh?
Yeah, Paul with a good point. The disadvantage would be the same coming here.
It's a great point.
Which is true, but I think because it'd be the same players getting used to making that trip back and forth, that I think it would be less of a disadvantage for this. It's going to be Jacksonville for the London Jaguars coming over here over and over and over again.
Can you imagine that flight? Like that's
they would have to get the Concorde again. They got to get the Concorde again going, like the 2-hour flight, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
you imagine playing like a Sunday night game and then having to, get here Tuesday, and then play a game on again on Sunday. That's brutal. That's brutal.
Yeah. I just don't think it's doable.
But I also think that if one team in London took off, you could quickly see 4 teams in the United Kingdom, 2 in Germany, 2 in France, and all of a sudden we've got 8 of them over there, and they only come over here twice for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could have them do like 4 game sections where they come to the United States for a 4-game block. They're home for a 4-game.
How about just do NFL Europe again? Just do NFL Europe again. The fuck.
It'd be great. There's enough money to do it, and it'd be great to have.
Definitely Trump to have. XFL.
Just think about the guys who come out of college and need some time. It'd be perfect.
Farm league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would sell the shit out of those stadiums.
Oh my God.
They really would.
Given what Goodell said, though, it seems pretty clear that they are in fact looking to put a team in London.
Are you saying they're looking to make more money? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Valid.
Ben makes a good point.
Ben makes a good point. Let me pull this up here. Ben says it's only like 40 years ago these guys used to take a bus. That is very true. Travis Etienne in this game, 26 carries, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 catches for 48 yards. He has never been strong in the pass game, but he has been looking a little bit better at that this year. I think he's been on the jugs machine in the offseason. He did put out a tweet, though, that he had to play against himself in fantasy this week. So
hilarious.
So he lost his thing there. Paul with the list of cities here: London, Birmingham, Paris, Frankfurt, Berlin, Turin, Madrid. I think if they did 2 in England, they would just do 2 in London. Right. I mean, there's like 97 soccer teams in London. They could certainly put two NFL teams there. If they went to the continent, Paris would make sense to have one. I think West Germany makes sense, so Frankfurt makes more sense. Berlin is another hour on the flight. So, by time zone, Paris and Berlin are the same, but by distance, that is not the same at all.
Commitment, bro. It's a massive commitment.
Yeah. But you could see them. I mean, you could see them maybe even trying to get the 8 teams over there.
I don't know, man.
It's an interesting thought about where they would lay these teams out. Or
they could just go full United Kingdom. 2 in London, 1 in Manchester, 1 in Scotland. Have 4 of them over there or something.
You could have an Irish team.
Yep.
You could have one in Birmingham. Yeah.
Sorry, I watched 2 seasons of Peaky Blinders and quit. I should finish it.
You quit?
Yeah, after 2 seasons.
You might be the only person on the planet who could say that.
It just fell off. I never picked it back up again. All right, next game here. This one's going to be very quick. Saints 34 at the Patriots 0. The Patriots have been outscored 72-3 in the last 2 weeks and must now seriously consider capitulating for Caleb. Mac Jones threw his 4th pick 6 at Gillette Stadium. That is equal to the total amount Tom Brady threw in his entire career at Gillette Stadium. Bill Belichick has suffered his 2 worst defeats as a head coach in back-to-back weeks, and the Patriots are, in fact, total ass.
Didn't they bench him again this game?
Well, there was 31-0, so they were saying that
they didn't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
Not that he stunk it up, but
yeah. I didn't even write down anything about the Saints. It really doesn't matter. The Patriots are horrible, and I'm here for it.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yes.
Welcome.
Titans 16 at the Colts 23. Anthony Richardson got hurt in this game. Home is 4 to 6 weeks with a sprained AC joint in his throwing shoulder.
Is it 4 to 6 for sure?
Yeah, it's a grade 3 AC joint sprain in his throwing shoulder, Cleve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 to 4 weeks if he's lucky. I'm sorry, 4 to 6 weeks if he's lucky.
And what if he decides to have surgery? How long will he be out for?
That's it. Shut him down.
Yeah. Even if he's lucky, if I'm lucky, I got 23% of this guy in best ball.
What's 4 to 6 is what? Is that week 9?
4 weeks would be week 9, 11. So it gets him back right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm saying, if he has the surgery and they shut him down, I mean, he ain't gonna make it back for Thanksgiving. I mean, he ain't gonna make it back for maybe the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
no, I
again,
don't think
his
he's gonna
style.
need surgery though. Not for a sprain.
Yeah.
That's more that whole thing is in Cleveland. You could talk about. It's more about where the collarbone, how jacked up that joint is.
Mm-hmm.
I had a grade 3 in the car accident I was in, and I had surgery twice.
Yeah,
and it's if you can't avoid it, you can't avoid it. It's not a pain tolerance thing. It's a structural thing.
Yeah, just it's a joint sprain, but over the musculature over that, it's like 14 different muscles in your shoulder. And if there's a dysfunction in one part of it, you're fucked. And he's a high grade athlete, so they got to get him
throwing
right.
a football with that shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. Whipping it around there.
Jonathan Taylor signed a 3-year, $42 million extension the day before the game, which I assumed would mean that Zach Moss would be banished to the shadow realm. Zach Moss, 23 carries, 165 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Well, he's going down fighting.
Yes. And further evidence, like Zach Moss was a bust in Buffalo, picked up by the Colts, been killing it this year. Like, just running backs don't matter. You can find them anywhere. But anyways, congrats on JT. And he actually won. Like, he got his money as a running back. That's incredible.
But he settled on the term.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're cool giving him 3 years worth of premium money. Because I don't know. Is he 26?
No, he's 24.
Okay. At the end of his career, he's still at the end of his tenure with the Colts, he's still a very young man.
Yes.
He's just an old player at the position, but
he'll be
good for him.
Who's Tony Pollard is 27 right now. 26 going on 27. McCaffrey is 27 going on 28. So that's like where he'll be when this contract is up.
Yeah. And they'll be able to move on and split amicably, and things are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Derrick Henry, 29.
Happy. Everyone's happy.
Derrick Henry's 29. See, Dalvin Cook is 29. Who's 27? Or whatever. Ravens 10 at the Steelers 17. As the resident Ravens fan here, I have a bit of a rant. So,
oh boy.
Lamar in this game, Clev, 22 of 38 for 236 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 pick. Only 6 carries for 45 yards. Clev, be honest, would you characterize that as a bad game for Lamar Jackson?
Well, no touchdowns, yeah.
And a pick, right?
And a pick, yeah.
Okay, get a load of this shit, Clev.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews dropped a touchdown.
Okay.
The very next play, Rashad Bateman dropped a touchdown. Nelson Aguilar dropped a 50-yard touchdown that hit him in the hands that would have sealed the game.
You couldn't catch a fucking baby.
Zay Flowers, unlike Aguilar.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers was wide open behind the safety, 50 yards downfield to set up a game-clinching field goal. Just tripped over his own feet and fell down. In total, the Ravens had 8 drops on the day.
Wow, that's a lot.
Multiple
critical moments.
touchdowns.
Yeah, critical moments. Yeah, it's like it's not a drop for a first down. Catch the fucking football.
Will somebody help this guy out? So he's 22 of 38 for 236. Easily could have been 28 of 37 for 329. And I say that for a reason. That's somebody else coming up, right? Who we're going to say, oh, he had a great day. Like, just catch a touchdown. The Rashad Bateman drop, Clev, literally in the back of the end zone, 10 yards away, in the hands, and he just dropped it.
Yeah, like it bit him or something. Like it
was too hot.
If it hits your fucking hands, it's a catchable ball.
Like Lamar took it out of the oven and threw it to him without telling him, and he
potato.
Man.
Yeah, and so of course this allows the Steelers to hang around. They eventually win the game on some bullshit. George Pickens had a good game. He beat Marlon Humphrey for a long touchdown. The Steelers are fucking garbage. I'm so annoyed that they won this game. I'm annoyed they're in first place. If the playoffs started today, they'd be the 3 seed in the AFC.
Hey, it's the I hate to say
Wouldn't you love to be the 7 seed in the AFC and have to face that team and know that you're just gonna crush them?
That's what I was gonna say, Scott. I was like, you teed it up a lot better than I was gonna do that. But yeah, face them now.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, so the Ravens are one of 2 teams that are just deeply unserious. You know, Lamar is serious, and I think some of the defensive player, Roquan Smith is a deadly serious man, but I don't think that the team is serious. Like they just don't.
Well, they better get serious or Harbaugh's out of there.
Whatever the 49ers have, the Ravens don't have. And it's not talent, right? But whatever it is that like makes the 49ers or the Dolphins just like what it is, the Ravens don't have it. They're unserious. They don't make me think to say it. And there's another unserious team we're going to talk about as well. Panthers 24, the Lions 42.
Whew.
Yeah. Lions put up 42 points. No Amon-Ra, no Jahmyr Gibbs.
They put up 42 without really trying.
Yes, they really did not have to try very hard at all.
So since I didn't see the game, did they pull off the gas a little bit? Like it could have been worse, or they just said, fuck it, we're just gonna get 42 and that's it.
So it was 42-24, but this game was really like a 42-10. This felt a lot more like the 49ers Cowboys game.
Yeah.
It's just the Panthers happened to put together a couple drives towards the end.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
So Jared
the Lions did whatever they wanted to do, both offensively and defensively. They had no issues. It was simple.
It was a scrimmage.
Yes.
It made me very uncomfortable watching it.
Yes.
Wow.
It did. Too easy.
I wish I could say that. I could say that.
They just rolled them over. They were unmatched. So I don't want to talk about the Lions too much. We're going to be talking about them a lot, I think, this year because they're good. I just wanted to note they did this without two of their key offensive players. On the Panthers side, though, Danny Carter of Roto-World called the drafting of Bryce Young first overall over Anthony Richardson, quote, a franchise-killing mistake. I think that's a bit harsh, but I think it might be directionally accurate. It has not taken long to see that Anthony Richardson should have been the first overall pick, CJ Stroud the second, and then Bryce Young should have been the third quarterback off the board.
Yes. Yep. I agree with that. He was a little harsh, but you kind of brought it in a little softer. That should have been the order.
Yeah. Because it might not be franchise killing because it's too early to say that Bryce Young is a bust, which is really what that would mean. It would mean that he's like Zach Wilson, right? It is way too early to say
Zach's
that.
Zach's a bust.
But like going into the draft, I'm on tape everywhere. Richardson should have been the first overall pick. Scott, you're on tape everywhere. Richardson should have been the first overall pick. Richardson should have been the first overall pick. And it's only taken 5 weeks to see that that's the case.
Jacob. Yes, Jacob. Welcome to my hell, bro. I got to hear these two guys all year long with their fucking 4-1.
So Jake says the Lions are officially a great team and the Patriots are officially a bad team. Hell is frozen over. Think about the juxtaposition between both teams, Cleve.
Yeah, well, I'm all here. I'm here for the Patriots deserve it. You know, it's about time. And they ruled that division for 21 years.
Yes.
So
it is time for them to be
about
bad.
Time.
Texans 19 at the Falcons 21. Cleve, in this game, the Falcons actually passed the ball. 38 passes to 38 rushes. And you'll never guess what happened.
Kyle Pitts got spotted.
Yeah, they were good. Desmond Ridder, 28 of 37, 329 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks, and a touchdown on the ground. Kyle Pitts, 7 catches, 87 yards. Drake London, 6 catches for 78 yards. And Bijan Robinson with one of the most insane one-handed touchdowns you'll ever see.
I might have to look that up.
It was a shovel pass, Cleve, and Ridder put it behind him. So with his offhand, he like turns his hand this way, cups the ball, and as he's doing that, he looks at the defense. So he takes his eye off the ball, puts it like on his butt cheek while he's juking the linebacker before he collects it with one hand and reaches across the goal line for the touchdown.
Wow, that just sounds insane. That sounds insane.
It was a nice play.
It was pretty sick. So, and the Falcons had to pass in this game because they couldn't run that effectively at all. And then the last drive they had to pass because CJ Stroud led what should have been a game-winning drive with like a minute left, and then Ridder came back and got the win. But yeah, like the Falcons passed the ball and their offense just worked a lot better in general. Scott, do you think Arthur Smith will learn anything from this?
No.
All right.
No, I think it's one of those things. They want to play from ahead. They want to run the ball. I don't think we should look at the Ridder kind of one game sample size and think really anything of it. Other than it confirming what we already know, which is if you give Drake London and Kyle Pitts opportunities with some level of accuracy, they're going to produce for you. Yeah. I'm not sure that's I would not expect it going forward. Yeah.
Giants 16 at the Dolphins 31. Cleve, we got to talk about Girthy 2 and his softballs.
Oh God,
so
that's dirty.
So first, Tua did throw really 2 bad interceptions in this game. Like if this had happened 2 years ago, you'd been all over these airways.
Oh yeah, I was on a plane. Whatever. I was on a plane. Like what the fuck? But yeah, they were going off though.
But his
didn't matter.
His TD throw to Tyreek to open the second half was so pretty. Megan just happened to be like watching Red Zone for a little bit while this happened, and like even her jaw hit the floor. She was like, "What an accurate pass!" Like, you know what I mean? Like it was just like clearly one of those beautiful, most accurate passes that you're going to see. For Danny Dimes' part, he hurt his neck, and when I first wrote this down, I realized how I wrote it. I wrote, "and hopefully we'll miss some time," which makes it sound like I want him to be hurt, which is not true. But like, for his sake, I hope he gets to miss some time because he was sacked 10 times last week and 6 times this week before he went out.
He needs to call David Carr or Derek. I'm sorry. Yeah, David Carr.
David Carr. Yeah.
He used to get sacked on his way to his car. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The offensive line there is just not really helping much.
And they were out 3 starters this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think Dable's in trouble?
No. I think that
they haven't scored an offensive touchdown. They haven't scored an offensive in weeks.
Yes.
Weeks.
But hear me out here. The roster is garbage. It was also garbage last year. And what Dable was able to do with that turning chicken shit into chicken salad last year is why he's not in trouble now.
It's the Pittsburgh this year thing. They got to play Minnesota in the playoffs. That was a fraudulent team.
Yes. Yes. Somebody had to win the fraud bowl last year.
Yes. The Giants did. The fraud bowl.
So I don't think Dable's now, if they do not make some serious improvements in the offseason going into next season, then a year from now, if they're still looking like this, we can talk. But right now, Dable is not in any. I mean, he's the defending coach of the year. He's all right.
Yeah.
Hey, Shotty got fired at a 12-4 record, bro, by the Chargers.
14-2. Don't shortchange Jake like that.
I keep fucking that up. Sorry, Jake.
Devon Achane, 11 carries, 151 yards, and 1 touchdown, continues to be amazing. Not sure if this is a profile miss by Scott and I, or if he's just a perfect fit for this offense. However, he did hurt his knee and is expected to miss multiple weeks now.
Wow.
He is a perfect fit for the offense.
Yeah. It's a track meet. It's a track meet over there.
Yep. Yeah. So he's obviously a perfect fit for the offense. I still hold to my analysis of his profile, Scott, that at his size, he has to be a true outlier to be productive multiple years in the NFL. Yeah. But with this team and with this coach, he's going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they run the wide zone stuff. They want to they want speed laterally, and then they want to go, right? And I mean, you can see him. He is so fast that it's just impossible. Once he gets past the first level of defense, he's gone.
Yes.
It's just you can't expose him to too much physicality because he is small. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't want to call him a gadget player, but I think, 10 to 12 touches a game for him is enough for him to be super productive.
Right. Especially if he's going to be hitting those long home runs like that.
Yep.
Well, the Dolphins don't need him next week because they host the Panthers. So,
oh man, they can go B squad with that.
Yeah, they'll be all right. Okay, Bengals 34 at the Cardinals 20. Clay, do you remember a couple weeks ago after the game, Jamar Chase in the postgame said, "I'm open. I'm always fucking open."
Yeah.
15 catches, 192 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
There we go.
Yeah. Within 30 minutes of the final whistle, he tweeted out a picture of 7-Eleven.
That's awesome. That's we tattooed on my left cheek. I'm always open.
Yeah. So needless to say, Jamar Chase is hashtag good at football. And to show you how like weird fantasy football is, in half point PPR scoring, Jamar Chase is now only 5 points behind Justin Jefferson on the season.
Wow.
Even though it feels like Jefferson's been killing it this entire
like chasm,
time.
Yeah, like a chasm
like,
between them. That's
Burrow's had one leg or whatever, and just like that, Chase is even. And we'll get to Jefferson coming up here. Burrow, 36 of 46, 317, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. But the most important thing is that he has a confident scramble for 9 yards in this game, which to me tells him the calf is at least be feeling somewhat better.
Yes, he looked a lot better.
Yeah. This was an absolute season saver for the Bengals, who are now only 1 game back of the choke artist Ravens in the AFC North.
Yeah, the Ravens don't let them in.
Not that I'm pissed about the Ravens. Seriously, Cliff, you have to look up this Rashad Bateman drop. I mean, it was.
You know what? I believe you because I can hear it. I can hear the inflection in your voice. It's like I really feel about it.
I actually think I'm trying to think of every child I know over the age of 6. I think they all catch it.
Is it okay? Is it worse than the what was that Cowboys player, Jackie? When the guy's like,
Jackie
he has to
Slater.
be the sickest man in the world. Like
that's Jackie
like that?
Smith.
Same guy.
Yeah. Don't bring up that play. Don't bring up that play around Don. He will have PTSD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this one I think is an easier catch because he literally had to do nothing, just go like this.
Just stop.
Right.
Just stop the ball. Trap the ball.
He's not going to the ground. None of that stuff.
It wasn't lasered in there.
Yeah. I mean, the ball might have stuck in his face mask. It was so perfectly thrown. Just
wow. I, as you doing it, I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, go ahead. Next game here. Eagles 23 at the Rams 14. Cooper Kupp came back for this game and immediately picked up where he left off. 5 catches on the first drive for 56 yards. Overall, he finished with 8 catches for 118 yards. Cooper Kupp with a 35% target share. Puka Nacua with 32%. I thought it was Zach Moss being banished to the shadow realm, but really it was Van Jefferson. He might as well get a job.
So that he's out.
Van Jefferson might as well get a job at Aldi next to Todd Gurley right now. I mean, he is done.
Wow.
The Eagles. Now, one thing I did like in this game is that with 2 seconds to go in the first half and no timeouts, the Eagles did call a brotherly shove on the goal line because they know it can't be stopped.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you find it, Cleef?
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, that's an ugly drop.
Yeah. So now when the oh no. Did Dave not see the Please tell me he didn't like tear his ACL or die or something. I'm out here making fun of him. No, he got
traded.
To the Falcons.
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh, okay. Paul's joke, banished to the Falcons, makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't get that at first. I didn't.
Okay. I didn't. Okay, I actually did not see that today. Okay.
The team that doesn't want to throw is loading up on receivers.
Yeah, well,
it's crazy.
maybe he's a willing run blocker.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that actually is better for him because not catching passes from Desmond Ridder does beat working at Aldi with Todd Gurley. So yeah, Cleve, when I say that Lamar Jackson had no touchdown passes this week,
they showed like a montage of it.
Yeah, isn't it absurd?
Yeah, it's a 2-minute montage. 2 minutes.
Right. I mean, Lamar pretty easily could have finished like a top 3 quarterback on the day. And instead they lost to the Steelers.
Number 1 graded PFF quarterback for the week.
Was he?
Yeah, I think he was, or in that range. And it caused some serious dissonance for people.
Well, but it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, he's making these big time, this 50-yard throw, in the bucket, perfect. That's a highly graded throw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Cleve. Jets 31, the Broncos 21.
That's the other game I watched as I was coming into.
Imagine that the Jets fan managed to watch the Jets.
Yeah, it was because I flew into EWR. I flew into Newark, so that game was going to definitely be on. A lot of fans were on the plane, but I don't know, man. I'm still not sold on Zach.
Well, I would assume not. He played like shit.
Yeah,
like the
it's
Broncos.
yeah. What do you think? Taking the Jets out of it, what do you think is like the relationship between Peyton and Russ? Like, what do you think? Like, you think like they just get in the car after getting out of the locker room and just go to separate ways, or they sit and talk somewhere, or go have a drink? What do you think is
Well,
going on?
Sean Payton is a old school, no nonsense, no sense of humor, a-hole coach. Russell Wilson is the most cringe person in the NFL. So no, I don't think they hang out together and get drinks or anything. I think they probably don't get along.
I would think that's probably true.
Yeah,
Did you see the Marshawn
yeah.
Lynch stuff about Russell Wilson?
Oh, and the Richard Sherman stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting along with Marshawn Lynch and he's your running back, you're not getting along with anybody.
When the guy said, "I got your back. If you're not finding anyone, I'll be your safety valve." The guy's offering himself up to say, "Hey, man, I'll play for you." You know, and then you call the guy from a block number. What the fuck?
Yep.
So I call him Dave from a block number. See a block number, Dave? It's me.
It's just weird. Like, I can't have
He's
your
the
phone
ultimate
number.
company. He's the ultimate
teammates?
company guy. He's the ultimate company guy.
Which is cringy. Like,
yes,
like anybody who like companies say we're a family at this company, like anybody who like buys into that like that much is cringy, right? Unless like it's like literally a family run business with 10 employees, like maybe, but you know what I mean? Like the Denver Broncos are not that. So
I agree, Jacob. I mean, I think we all do. Is that we kind of see that Drew Brees kind of helped things along over there. He might not be the genius that he is, but again, Russ is not his guy, so I'm giving him that. A coach should really have the guy that they want, and he inherited Russ.
He took the job knowing Russ was there.
Yeah,
he didn't take the job.
Yeah, so you gotta take the lumps, bro. It's part of it. It's par for the course.
Brees Hall in this game, 22 carries, 177 yards, and a touchdown. He's back, Scott. He hit 21.5 miles per hour in this game, which matches his high from last season.
I want to know what Clev thought about the long run.
It was great. I love jailbreak runs, and I was like, whew. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Where was this? Where was this a couple weeks ago?
Well, they were giving the ball to Dalvin Cook, so
yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean it was he was so dynamic last year, and he looks. You just mentioned it 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. He didn't have that long speed to run away from everybody. He did Sunday. He is incredible.
Yeah,
he's a great running back.
Yeah, he's really, really good. However, the Jets have even more problems after this game. Mekhi Becton got hurt. I didn't see how serious that was, but Elijah Vera Tucker is up for the season with an Achilles injury. Yeah. And the offensive line was already kind of a weak point for the team. So that's rough again for them.
Rough sledding, man. It's fucked up season.
Chiefs 27 at the Vikings 20. Taylor Swift did not come to this game. Next game. No, I'm kidding. So as far as I was joking with Megan before this, I was like, she's not going to Minneapolis. Right. She went to Kansas City because she has to. That's where he lives. And then she went to New York because obviously she won't go to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson suffered a hamstring injury and is on the IR. He will miss at least 4 weeks.
He's getting his tape ready for the other teams.
Well, Scott, you mentioned on this show a couple weeks ago that for cap reasons, the Jets could not trade for Kirk Cousins. Is there any way that this could be made to work if both teams wanted to do it?
Yes.
Financially?
Yes.
Would it crush the Jets, though, next year to have Cousins and Rodgers money on the books, even if both players aren't?
It depends on how they structured. I mean, any team. So Cousins is going to be a free agent, and it just depends on how you would structure that contract. Are they going to give him, say, 1 year and a whole bunch of money with some voidable years to follow to make it palatable in year one? Maybe. I don't know.
You guys are forgetting Aaron Rodgers is still there on 1 more
that's
year.
The thing is, it's a 1 year.
Kirk would only be for this year. He'd only be for this year.
To run mop up. But then let's say he goes to AFC Championship game. All right. We haven't seen Rodgers do that for us yet. What happens then? because he's still. Then you trade him. Where do you trade him from? What do you do? Because he's not going to be a backup to Aaron Rodgers, which would make sense.
This is super easy. Cousins comes in for this year, does whatever he does this year. Then you trade him to Atlanta.
Yes.
Then you trade him to the Falcons for like 2 seconds and 2 fourths and I don't know, some offensive linemen because they probably have a couple extra. And that's what you do. And then the Falcons get Kirk Cousins with Drake London and Kyle Pitts. And I can finally get paid off on my Kyle Pitts shares. And and then you bring in Aaron Rodgers.
It would be very difficult. It's almost it's really difficult to see something like that happening. But if they really want Cousins in New York, I don't think he would want to go there. He does have a trade. He does have a no trade clause, so he would have to approve all this stuff. I don't know. Good question. He would be a perfect fit there, though.
Yes. And they got their bye in week 7. So not this week, but the next week.
Yeah.
Get this deal done now. Bring them in. Zach Wilson plays this week against whoever they play. And then you have 2 weeks to get Cousins ready for week 8, and you give the ball to Breece Hall 90 times the first game, then you go for it.
Yeah, so the thing there is I don't know what Cousins makes this year, and I don't know how the Jets would get around what he makes this year without extending him into the future.
Yeah.
With void years and stuff. I don't know. So they'd have to restructure his contract and push money into the future. But I don't know.
Yeah. They should probably at least think about it. Travis Kelce picked up a non-contact high ankle sprain in this game.
We got the Eagles next week. Well, this week.
Oh, the Jets play the Eagles? Yeah, that so it's an L anyways. So
yeah,
run Wilson out there. Don't even play Breece Hall. Just give Dalvin Cook 24 dusty carries. Lose 41-0 with Kirk Cousins studying the playbook. Go on your bye and then come back with a completely fresh Breece Hall, completely fresh.
How perfect is it for Cousins to be in a quarterback room with Aaron Rodgers? Tell me. Like, it's perfect.
Two guys who could not be polar opposite.
I mean, they're going to hate each other and agree on some very, very bold issues.
I was going to say, because Kirk Cousins is basically Mike Pence and Aaron Rodgers is an anti-vaxxer, so there's some overlap.
That was great.
Yeah, there's some overlap there.
Yeah, for sure.
Really nothing else to say about this game besides my question, Scott, is do the Chiefs play down to their competition, or do they just lack the explosive playability that allowed them to crush teams in the past, or is it both?
No Bieniemy. There's no Bieniemy.
Yeah, and the Kelce injury might have been a limiting thing for them, it's not like the Vikings are very good defensively, but I haven't really thought about the Chiefs playing down to teams. It's an interesting thought. I mean, they should have beat Minnesota by more than they beat Minnesota by, but they are doing that a little bit.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of which, if you've noticed the title of the show, and Scott, I'll let you go after this, I titled the show, quote, "Do the Jets ever fall in?" So we're watching the Saints Patriots. Megan walks out, sees the score, and she goes, "Wow, New England's losing by a lot." I said, "Yeah, New England's really fallen off." And she goes, "Do the Jets ever fall in?"
Thanks, Megs. You're awesome.
The answer is no. All right, I'm out.
Yep. All right, Scott.
Good to see you guys.
One. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
All right.
All right, Cowboys 10 at the 49ers 42 in the Sunday Nighter, Cleve. Are you surprised that this game was just such a massive blowout?
No, because I do take all the Dak stuff out. That defense we're ranting and raving about a few weeks ago. Everyone's touting them as the 85 Bears or whatever, and they're touting Parsons as this LT larger than life thing, and I'm like, they're beatable. They're super beatable. And I don't know. I love how Purdy plays. He just plays within whatever system, whatever they need him to do, he just does it. But it's amazing how he doesn't miss open guys. But to your point, a few weeks ago, or maybe even last year, some of he hasn't gotten some of the other things down yet, like games on the line possibly, and he can process quickly. But for right now, he's doing exactly what he needs to do with the talent around him, and that team is going, bro. That's the best team of football. That's the best.
Without question. Yep. Without question. Brock Purdy, 17 of 24, 252 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah. What McCaffrey
super
do?
Efficient. George Kittle had 3 catches in this game. How many touchdowns did he have?
3 catches. Did he go 3 for 3?
He sure did. 3 catches, 63 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Jacob said he didn't get tackled all game.
No, clean jersey. Yep.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So the Cowboys are the other team along with the Ravens, I think, are just deeply unserious. And I think it's unserious differently than the Ravens, because the Ravens have a provably good head coach, and like all the players around Lamar are just like yakety saxing it all over the place. Whereas the Cowboys, I think, are a more talented team, but their head coach is bad.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys. Well, I'll ask you since Scott's not here. So is it a combination of both, meaning McCarthy and Dak? Because he's calling the plays, not being on the same pace to execute, or you think it's more that Dak can hamstring this team at any moment? Because like he shows like you don't know who's going to show up for him. Like you don't know which Dak you're going to get.
Yeah, well, getting the best out of your players week to week is usually a coaching thing. But, so Dak in this game goes 14 to 24, 153, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. And I think Dak Prescott is a perfectly average quarterback. But my note for this is, what if he ever had a competent head coach? Right? Like, what if it wasn't Jason Garrett and Mike McCarthy? Like, what if he had Kyle? Like, if you flipped Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott in this game, I think the 49ers still win 42-10.
Yeah. I can agree with you with that. I think you're spot on with that analogy. The thing about the Cowboys that always kind of tickles me, man, is like a game like that. Jerry will be like, "He's our guy. We're gonna." And I'm like, all right, I know you're paying him, but there has to be stuff being said behind the curtain.
Yeah, but publicly, that's what you have to say.
Yeah,
like there's no other way around it. Jake asked a very good question here. He says, why do other NFL teams not do what the 49ers did and draft the top 10 quarterback with the very last pick of the draft? Are they stupid?
Hey, the entire league missed on this kid.
Yes. Although sort of like Devon Achane, he is kind of perfect for the situation he finds himself in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this guy went to the Titans would be crushing it.
Yeah,
what I mean? So it is a good happy marriage between both of these things. But the Cowboys are not legitimate Super Bowl contenders. They are not capable of going on a run where they can beat 4 good teams in a row, or even like one fraudulent team, then 3 other good teams in a row. They can't do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, let's say they win the East, or not win the East. Let's say they go wild card because the Eagles win the East, but they get the best wild card, so they're the 4 seed. And so they host the 5 seed. So who would the second best wild card be in the NFC? Coming out of the West, Seattle. So they get to host Seattle. Easily a losable game. But then they win that game. So they go to the 1 seed. So now they go to San Francisco. And somehow they win that game. Now they're going to Philly. Now they're going to the Super Bowl to play whatever murderous team is coming out of that AFC gauntlet. Like, this is not a team built for this. They're unserious.
Yeah.
Like, they're literally just, you know what? Put the Falcons in their spot instead. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Put some team that can explode in any direction, but will probably get. I'd rather see the Commanders.
Wow.
Right? They'll probably lose by 80, but they can at least win a couple of these in a row. The Cowboys are not capable of winning 2 of these games in a row.
Damn. That's brutal. That's brutal.
Yeah. Jake says the Cowboys are all hat, no cattle.
It's good.
Yeah, which is an amazing quote for somebody from. Aren't you from like Orange County, Jake? How do you?
He uses Google machine and got that.
go to Cowboy AI and find the find the phrases that you need. The 49ers, though, are an incredibly serious team, and you and I took them to lose the Super Bowl to the Bengals. I know they both took the Bengals to win. Did you also take the 49ers to the Super Bowl? Did you take the Eagles?
It was a toss up. I have to go back and look, but it was a toss up.
But I know you were down to those two. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm a Purdy guy. I just think he does enough where because he's so green in the league, like he's not gonna go into business for himself, as Matt would like to say. Like he's gonna do what he's told.
Yeah. I have a guy at work who is
Dak G.
Got it. Okay, that's actually legitimately funny. Jake said got it from Dak GPT. I should have thought that's really good, Jake. That's actually high quality. It's really good. One of the guys at work, born in the 50s, and he comes to me and he goes, you know who Brock Purdy reminds me of? He reminds me of Ken Stabler.
Wow, the snake.
And I was like, yeah, that's actually a pretty good, not personality wise.
Oh yeah, great book.
Yeah,
I don't think Purdy's that kid.
Yeah, but like, just in every other way, like the way he's playing or whatever, I actually think that's true because Purdy's not like the most overly talented, but he's but he's very but he's very good and a great fit for this team. Final game here, the Monday night game. Packers 13 at the Raiders 17. Cleve, this game sucked.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it. I was too tired anyway. Like I was just like, but I did see the interception at the end. Like the dude like floated into like the atmosphere to catch this ball. I was like, what?
So Paul and I actually got into an argument in the group chat about this. So I said this was an embarrassing play for the receiver who is 6'4" with like a 41-inch vert, and he got mossed by a defensive back who's 5'9".
Yep.
Yeah. Paul made the argument.
It to a 50-50 ball. 50-50 ball at that point.
Yeah. Paul made the argument that the ball was so horribly underthrown that Watson never had a chance to adjust to it and jump, basically. And I went and looked at the still photo. At the time Robertson has possession of the ball, Watson is still on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, I could see him losing the leap. Like, losing the jump because he's got to come back to the ball or he's thrown up where the ball is or whatever. But you got to at least jump. Like, at some point, you got to get into the air.
Yeah, it's a jump. If someone's jumping with you for the ball, you need to be jumping with them.
Yeah. Now, the real thing about this, though, is that Watson had dusted him, and that's an easy touchdown for a quarterback who doesn't suck. But I think and Scott's not here to defend himself right here, but I think we're back to Jordan Love probably sucks.
That's a little harsh, man.
Okay, keep in mind this game happened.
It's a big moment. It's a big moment. I get it. That's why you're saying that. It's a big moment. It's a drive. Let's put a touchdown on the book here.
This game happened against the Raiders. 16 of 30, 182 yards, no touchdowns, 3 picks.
Ooh. Oh, since you put it like that.
Oh, and he missed the wide open receiver so bad to end the game, the ball was intercepted instead.
That puts a whole new type of stink on it.
Yeah, it turns out when he's not playing the Bears or the Broncos, he's not very good.
Not that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Paul's right. Watson had 3 steps. I mean, he had destroyed Amik Robertson on this play. This should have been the game-winning touchdown, and Jordan Love underthrew the pass so bad that it was intercepted. I'm just saying that, like, by the time either Watson got totally mossed on this play, or his awareness is so low it took him too long to adjust to how bad the throw was.
Well, that could also say that he wasn't the read. He wasn't like, it wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna look for you here. Maybe he had to come back to him.
I don't think he was the read because as soon as he beat him, he throws his hands up and starts shouting. Then you look to the sideline and the head coach of the Packers, Matt LaFleur, is like going like this, pointing down the field at Watson.
Gotcha.
So like he probably was like he was probably just there to like clear out the zone, but they forgot to cover him.
Yeah.
But then that's what I'm saying.
Like
Love, the throw was certainly horrible. That's the main thing about this is that the throw was so bad on what should have been. I mean, honestly, I'm like Dak wins this game, right?
So if that was Rodgers on the that was Rodgers in that spot, that's a touchdown. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, without question. Yeah, I mean, he was wide open. Last thing on this game, we had another Josh McDaniels doesn't know what he's doing as a coach moment here. Josh McDaniels for the third straight week made a late game coaching decision that absolutely should have lost the Raiders this game. It only didn't because Jordan Love made a throw that was worse than this decision.
Is that field goal?
Yeah. So here's the situation. The Raiders are up 4. The Packers have one timeout. It just hit the 2-minute warning. So the 2-minute warning has expired. 4th and 2 from the Packers 34-yard line. Do you go for it? And if you make it, the game is over. Kick a field goal to go up by 7, or punt and try to get 30 or try to get some more field position.
Well, I'm definitely taking the field goal out of the equation. I'm not doing the field goal.
Okay, so definitely doing the field goal. So now it's punt from the 34 or go for it and try to win. What do you do?
I would probably go for it because I'm not gonna. What's the time on the clock?
It's 2 minutes even. 2 minutes on the dot. The Packers have one timeout.
Yeah, no. I'm going.
Right. You're going.
I'm going for it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going for it.
So
yeah.
Right. Because if you go for it and you make it, you win the game. Right.
Yep.
The odds of successfully converting a 4th and 2 league wide is like 57%. But they have Josh Jacobs, so it should be a little bit higher for the Raiders. The league-wide average on a 52-yard field goal attempt is 68%. So your odds of success are only slightly better for the field goal, but the field goal doesn't end the game if you're successful.
Correct. Yeah.
This isn't hard, right? And if your entire job is to know these situations, how can you consistently get it wrong in these situations week after week after week?
Especially coming from the Belichick coaching tree. Especially coming from that coaching tree. Like, are you serious, bro?
Right. Belichick has been accused of being too aggressive. Right? Like you would think you'd have the opposite problem.
Yeah, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Fireable offense.
Yeah, for like the 3rd week in a row. And it would have caused them to lose the game if Jordan Love had hit Watson on that.
So they got bailed out.
They got bailed out by Jordan Love making a horrible pass. Okay. Hang on 1 second here. I'm producing the show while we do the show. I'm just pulling up the schedule for next week here, as we do each week, to just sort of look at what's coming up. 1 second. All right. The Thursday night game, Cleve. Are you ready for this? We're going to get our bonchon. We're going to settle in for the Broncos at the Chiefs.
It's going to be a murder fest. That's going to be a murder fest, bro. Oh.
Yeah, I kind of hope the Chiefs go for 50.
Oh, wow. that would probably make Peyton resign. He's like, all right, I'm done.
In the 3rd quarter. He just walks up to the booth and starts calling the game with Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels. Coach, what are you doing here? Yeah. No, I'm back. I'm back in the booth. I'm here. Paul with a good point that Kelsey should sit out this week. He probably should. Like they shouldn't need him.
It's like a bye week. It's like a bye week.
Yeah, he's got the sore ankle. They shouldn't need him. He probably should sit out this week. There's another London game. Baltimore at Tennessee in London.
How many more of these we got? Is it all season?
There's a few more because there's 2 in Germany coming up.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a couple more still to come. But yeah, we got another 9:30 game.
That early. I can't not watch football that early.
And the same thing I said last week. Just put it in prime time in London and put it in the 1 o'clock window here and just put it on Red Zone.
Yeah, please. Someone listen to that.
The fact that it's in London the fact that it's in London isn't unique for those of us watching the game. It's unique for the people in London.
Yes.
Just start it late.
Audience is us, you know?
Fuck. Right. Okay, Sunday 1:00 games. Panthers at Dolphins, another murder.
Wow.
Saints at Texans. That game will be on Red Zone 4 times. Commanders at Falcons, low key, that could be a good game.
Okay.
That could be like 31-28. Some good scoring in that one. Colts at Jaguars. Gardner Minshew goes back home to Jacksonville.
Oh, nice.
Yep. We got a good one here, Cleve. Seahawks at Bengals.
That's
Seahawks coming off the bye and Joe Burrow looking like he's back. Hopefully they get T. Higgins back. Hopefully for my bags, we get T. Higgins back. Oh, Vikings at Bears. So we get the Vikings without Justin Jefferson at the Bears. That's a thrilling matchup.
Wow.
49ers at the Browns.
Oof.
That's a sneaky game for the 49ers. The Browns are coming off the bye. It's a 1 p.m. Eastern, so the 49ers are coming across the country. Early game for them. The Browns are not horrible, especially on defense. They've had 2 weeks to prepare. I am not prepared to say that the Browns are going to win that game yet.
Don.
But I might by the end of the week. What up, Don? So Don, also born in the 50s, likes the Purdy Stabler comparison. So there we go. We got it. We got it up. Boomer confirmed. No, actually, Cleve, you were born in the 30s. So you could.
Yeah, I saw the Lions' first game.
The Portsmouth Spartans. Oh my God, the Josh McDaniels Bowl. Patriots at Raiders.
Oh.
And the Patriots win. The Patriots win 0 to -3.
That might be like a tie.
Yeah.
That might be a tie.
I can. Okay. So there's 4 4:00 games. Patriots at Raiders. Cardinals at Rams. Eagles at Jets.
Yeah. That's going to be a slaughter fest.
So I can see why they flex this game in as well. Lions at Bucks.
You guys should also murder them.
Which the Lions should win, 7 to 13 points or so. But at least it puts another watchable team in the window.
Baker's going to throw like 3 picks.
Yeah, that's hope. Oh my God, Cleve, Sunday night we have to watch the Giants in prime time again. The Giants at Buffalo.
Yeah, that's a slaughter fest. That's like, see what. It's not the league's fault when they made the schedule. It's the brand of football we're getting. Is that, I mean, if the teams were good, then it would be good matchups.
I don't understand why they flexed Lions Bucks from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and didn't flex something watchable to Sunday night.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at the 1 p. I mean, honestly, put Seahawks Bengals on Sunday night.
Yeah, so any one of those teams, and that would have gave the West Coast team a little bit more time.
Right, exactly. So you put Seahawks Bengals there. You got Burrow getting healthy again. You give the Seahawks more time to adjust. Be on a better clock or whatever. Instead, we get Giants at Bills. Monday night. Yeah, Monday night should be a good one. It's Cowboys at Chargers. Which means you get one of 2 things. Either the Cowboys lose again, which is hilarious, or we get Sad Jake, which is also hilarious. Paul is saying they can't flex Sunday night football games yet. I don't think. I'm sure there's some rule somebody made up somewhere that makes that true. It's their games. And wouldn't NBC want the better game? I don't know. I'm sure I'm missing like who it's good for that we still have the Giants. Probably with Tyrod Taylor.
The Giants are definitely red zone material. Definitely red zone material.
Yeah. So, So there's going to be. I think there should be a few blowouts next week, but there should be a couple good and interesting games at all. Cleve, you want to give a quick trip report about Panama? Things you did, what you saw, how'd you liked it, impressions, thoughts, that sort of thing.
Yeah, actually, I don't know why I thought, because I'm originally from South America, like born, right? And I'm from a partially developed country, for the most part. Panama is very developed. Like a lot of American dollars there. Their malls are like rival the malls here in the States. I mean, beautiful malls. Most of the country is very, very taken care of. But their beaches are rough. Like the beach itself, like the water was not pristine, whatever. But overall, I had a great time. Not somewhere I would go again, but had a definitely really good time. My mom's birthday, she turned 70. Happy birthday, Mom!
Happy
again.
birthday.
She every year she picks a place, and then we travel to it if we can make it. So every year there's something. So I think Costa Rica might be next year or something like that. But it's usually like somewhere in the Caribbean that you can go for a few days and enjoy it. If you go to Europe, you got to kind of like be there like a week or two to enjoy Europe. So I've never been to Europe, and I wanted to go, but then I'm not a big itinerary person. I'm not going to leave an itinerary for an itinerary. Like, oh, we got to go see this castle, this cathedral, this. I'm like, bro, I just want to go from the bar to the pool to eat, and then stuff like that. So
you like to go? You like to actually like rest on your vacations?
Yeah. For me, vacations are like basically doing minimal stuff.
Yeah.
And I got to be somewhere I can watch football because the way my job works, like I don't get to take vacations until like this part of the year. So it's always football season or whatever. I need to find like the first sports bar I can get that can get American games, and I'm good. I'm good to go. If I'm in London, if I'm in Europe someplace, I'm on the move. I'm not going to watch football for like 2 weeks. So
yeah. Well, I would recommend not going to Europe during football season. Going to spring during soccer season.
There may be games over there now. There may be teams. So
that's true. Yeah, we'll go over there. We'll catch the London Jaguars at the Berlin Panthers. No, that's cool. Panama's pretty high on my list of places I want to go. So hopefully I'll be able to
definitely
go pretty soon. It seems cool. Now I'm an itinerary person on vacation, but when you go to Europe, you kind of have to because like there's so much to see and do, and it's so far away. You can't like
you cannot
you can't go there and not do the stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the trick with the itinerary vacations, Cleve, is that you schedule in off days.
Yeah.
For that. So you would schedule in the Sunday to just find the bar with Red Zone and watch Red Zone all day long and not do anything but drink and eat. Right.
Yes.
And then you pick up the itinerary the rest of the days. You don't need to just do it every single day. Go. You got to build in your rest days. Right.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, some of the college football stuff is interesting. I'm picking back up with the college game and seeing a lot of stuff. So you guys are really good.
Yes, we are. For listeners who don't know, when he says you guys, he means the University of Michigan.
Yes.
And Paul actually sent me a really interesting plot graph from Brian Fremo, who does the FEI stuff, that showed that this year there's no like truly elite teams, and there's also no truly bad teams. And so I don't want to I do actually think Michigan is the best team in the country, but I don't say that the same way that like the last 2 years I'd be like Georgia's the best team in the country, right? Like Georgia's defense 2 years ago, like they all play for the Eagles now. And I don't think the entire Michigan defense is going to play for the Eagles. So I don't mean it in quite the same way, but Michigan is the best team in the country, and I expect them to play in the national title game against a really good team, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you guys are good. You guys are fucking good.
But this upcoming week, Cleve, since we're talking about the schedule coming up, 3:30 Saturday, Oregon, Washington. Two great quarterbacks, two great college quarterbacks. Washington's quarterback, Michael Penix, looks like he could be a first-round pick next year. Washington's got two wide receivers who could go in the first round, right? These are high-scoring teams, big-time rivals. These schools hate each other. It's going to be a great game. 3:30 Saturday. That's the appointment viewing this weekend. And Colorado plays on Friday. So Colorado's easy to watch because they're on Friday. But yeah, 3:30 Washington, Oregon. That is the game this week, college football.
Before we go, did you see that I think it was Fox and someone else were fighting for the rights to the Colorado game against ASU? Really?
I mean, they're going to get that kind of eyeball.
I guess it's marketing dollars or whatever is going on. So we'll see.
Oh, that was me. Okay. Paul says classic Big Ten matchup, Washington and Oregon, because they're joining the Big Ten next year.
We're gonna have a super conferences in like 2 years. There's gonna be no Big Ten, no Pac-12, no Big East, none of that bullshit.
Well, the Big Ten will just be one of the super conferences.
Yeah,
along the SEC and the Big 12, we'll have 3 24-team conferences.
Everyone
Everybody else will go fly kite.
Then go play for some bullshit trophy somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Clev. College football. We got to talk about this because who would you say your favorite team in college football is?
I'm a Hurricanes fan.
Okay, you want to talk about the game this weekend?
Cristobal is a fucking idiot. I don't know. It's just...
So, for anybody who didn't see this, the Miami Hurricanes were in a position against Georgia Tech where all they had to do was kneel out the clock and they win the game. Instead, Mario Cristobal ran a play. The running back fumbles. Georgia Tech recovers. 2 plays, 73 yards later, Georgia Tech is in the end zone. Game over. Georgia Tech wins.
Yeah, just like honestly, and this is, I don't know if this is reserved just for the college game or maybe high school football. Like, don't overthink stuff. Keep it simple. Football is not it's a complicated sport when you scheme up, but when decisions need to be made to win the game, don't get complex. Don't be a smart dummy. You know? Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, but you believe this is the second time he's done that?
Yeah, I don't think the old guard is gonna love that. So
yeah, when he was at Oregon, he did the same thing in 2018, lost to Stanford.
I just don't get these guys, man. Just don't overcomplicate it. Be easy.
Yeah. So all right. So yeah. So next week we'll be back discussing all the week 6 NFL action. And who knows, if we get something crazy in the college game, we'll talk about that too. For Scott, I'm Dave. Cleve, we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Peace.